Hello there, fellow DCS nerds. In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the new SWAPR script, which stands for Sweet Automatic Player Replacement Script. Yes, I'm sorry about the acronym. I had to think of something and that's the best I could come up with. I apologize. Alright, so what does this script do? It basically replaces all inactive clients or unused client slots that you choose. It replaces them by their static counterparts. Statics, which will share the type of the client, the aircraft type of the client, the country, the coalition, obviously, and the template, the livery, the skin, okay? Obviously the position as well, position and heading as well. Right. So I have created this demo mission to show you guys how it's supposed to work. So right now we have a bunch of clients, blue clients at Copileti, a bunch of red clients at Sochi, and then a couple of helicopters at the top of Mount Elbrus, which we'll see later. Right. So if we check the names of all the clients in the mission, here in the pilot name slot of each client, you can see that at the end of the pilot name of each client, there's a common suffix, which is _client. And now I'm going to switch between clients so you can see this. I'm switching and you can see that all clients use this common suffix _client. It doesn't matter the coalition they belong to, the country, the aircraft type, the location, it doesn't matter. They all use the same this suffix in this case, which incidentally, it can also be a prefix, okay? It doesn't have to be a suffix, it can also be a suffix. It works the same, right? So once we have checked this, this would be all the clients that we want replaced by statics whenever there's no client, okay, in the slot. There's no player in the slot, that's what I mean. Right, that's the first thing to check. Then there's a second thing that we must check, and that's for all the units that operate from Farbs. For example, in this case, helicopters. I have placed a Farb in beside each airfield. In this case, Copileti has a blue Farb, and Sochi has a red Farb, which is right there. Okay, and I placed them so you can see that this script, SWAPR, also works with units spawning from Farbs. All right, so what you need to keep in mind here is that all units operating from Farbs, they must be on separate parking spots, right? So for instance, we have an Australian Kiwi from parking 1. We have a Georgian Kiwi from parking 2. We have a Greek Mi-8 on parking 3 and a Turkish Mi-8 on parking 4. Okay, so this means that all these units, all these clients are correctly configured to work with the script. Now we switch to the red Farb units, and you can see here on the red Farb we have a Russian Kiwi from parking 1, Russian Kiwi, another one on parking 2, forget about this one, okay, an Iranian Mi-8 on parking 3, and a Russian Mi-8 on parking 4. Now double, triple, quadruple check this, because Mission Editor has a tendency to reset the parking number whenever you make changes to these clients. So always check that the parking number, the parking numbers for each client are different, okay? So that's basically it. We need to check that all the clients we want to replace share the same suffix name or prefix in their pilot names. We must also check that the clients operating from Farbs are located in different parking spots. All right. So right now, as the mission stands, there's no script loaded. I mean, I'm loading Moose here, but that's not gonna do anything. So if I were to start the mission, nothing would happen because there are no active units. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to load this mission. All right, we're in the mission now. I'm going to choose spectators. And as you can see, there are no statics spawning, no clients spawning, nothing. The map is clear. We have a bunch of clients available. A and A. We can also enter Farb units, like this Huey here. Or we can just spawn from the top of the Mount Elbrus here, which is kind of cool. Right. Go back to spectators. And same for the Red Coalition, right? We can spawn from here, Mount Elbrus. We can go to Sochi. And we can also go to the Farb beside near Sochi. Would be here. Okay, perfect. But nothing is spawning, right? I mean, this is your typical mission with a bunch of clan spots, a bunch of clan slots. But nothing is really spawning. Everything is empty, right? Okay, let's get out of here. All right, so we're back in the mission editor. And let's say that we want to replace all these clients that are not active by statics to make things a little bit more lively. So what would be the steps to follow? First thing, we need to check that all clients that we want replaced are using this common suffix that I talked about, the underscore client. So we are going to switch between clients, all the clients in the mission, planes included. Okay. And we must check that all of them are using underscore client. And they effectively, they are. Okay, good. They all are. Perfect. That's the first thing to check. Now, the second thing we're going to do is going to check that the helicopters operating from Farbs are placed on different parking spots. Okay? And we can see that they are, which is cool. Okay, so we have the suffix, the common suffix is correct. All the Farb units are operating from different parking spots. Cool. So next step is to take the common prefix from one of these clients, underscore client. We copy that. And we come here to the SWAPR reference table builder, which is one of the two scripts required to run SWAPR. Okay. And on line 3, you can see that there's a string field. And it says common client prefix or suffix in mission editor. Okay, so we paste the common suffix in this case here, which is underscore client, and we save it. And that's all that we need to do. This script will using this common prefix or suffix in this case, it will capture all the units using this suffix in this case. It will count them. It will gather all sorts of necessary information. And then it will introduce all this information in a table called reference table. Okay? It will do this for all the clients that we have selected that are using this common suffix in this case. And after it has done that, it will dump the contents of reference table into the dcs.log. And it will dump them in a formatted way. So the table that will result will be usable. Okay? you'll see how this works. So now what we've done is just pasted the common suffix. We've saved the script. Remember, it's called SWAPR, Reference Table Builder. So we come back here to the mission. And we go to the trigger menu, right? And as you can see, I have moose.lua loaded. This is a developed version, but don't worry about that. We'll discuss that later on the forum thread. So what we do is create a new trigger, a once trigger, for example, and we call it, I don't know, we call it SWAPR. SWAPR, for instance, okay? And if you want, you can paint it any color, useful color, so you can distinguish it from the rest, okay? And then we'll load the script. We go to Actions, this script file, open, and we'll look for this SWAPR. Let's see. SWAPR Reference Table Builder. This is the script, and we load it. We save the mission. Okay, and there's the last step. Before we continue, we have to do something else. We need to go enter all the clients, access all the clients that we want replaced, and we need to switch them from client to AI. Okay, so we do it. You can set them to average, good, high, excellent. It doesn't matter. As long as it's AI, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. Okay. We're almost done. Okay, I think we're done. So we make sure that, again, that all clients are using this common prefix, which they are, that all clients are on some sort of AI skill, and also that the Farb helicopters are on different Farb parking spots. Okay, right now we can see that all of the clients, of the former clients, are now AI units. That's good. And now we switch over helicopters and we check that all of them are on different parking spots. Okay, good. Let's go to the blue. Okay, good, good. Looks great. Okay, so this would now be ready. Make sure that we are loading the SWAPR reference table builder, which we are. Save the mission again. All the clients are using the correct suffix, the common suffix. All the Farb clients are on different parking spots. All of them are switched to AI. Okay, they have been set to AI. So we just run the mission once. All right, so we're in the mission now. We started, and the script runs. And you can see that as soon as the script runs, it counts all the clients that we have selected, which are 33 in total, right? So these are all the selected clients that are currently included in AI set, which means they are the script is taken their information in. It has already introduced all their information inside the reference table here. And this information has been dumped in the cs.log using all this part of the script. All right, so now we go over the cs.log, we open it and look for the table that has been dumped by the script. And this is pretty easy to spot because the way I've written the script, it dumps the table in a pretty clear way. Okay, and you can see here, the start of the table is indicated by this giant arrow. And it says table starts here. And a little bit further down the log, you can see that there's another giant arrow, and it says table ends here. So what we do is just select the whole table from start to end, or from end to start, and we copy it. Okay, and then we open, in this case I already have it opened, we go over to some text editor like Notepad++, and in this instance I recommend Notepad++, and we paste it. Okay, so this would be the table, but as you can see, this table wouldn't be usable yet because we have all these time information that we do not want, right? So in order to get rid of all this information at once, Notepad++ offers this cool feature, which is column selection. We just press left Alt on the keyboard, left Alt, and with the left mouse button, I can select anything, any column that I want, okay, that I want from this text, and we just select all the stuff that we do not want. We delete it. If you want, you can add some spaces here, and there we go. We are left with an automatically generated reference table for the SWAPR script. So the next step that we must follow is to select the whole table that we've just generated, and we copy it. It's as simple as that. We just copy it. Then we go over the SWAPR script, which is the real script, the script that's doing all the work. And if you open the SWAPR script, you can see that at the beginning it says paste the auto-generated reference table here. Okay, so we do it as it says. We just paste it here. There we go. We have the whole table here. And as you can see, I will show it to you now. Reference table is needed. We can save the script. Sorry about that. We can save the script. And as you can see, reference table is used by this script here in line 463, because we have a for loop here that needs it. And it's also used in line 507 and 507, another loop that needs it. And that's it. Okay, so we just paste the automatically generated reference table here. And there's a couple final things that we must do, which are super easy. We just need to take, for instance, if you examine the contents of the reference table, you can see that it has different indices, which contain subtables for each client or each unit that we had in the mission, right? So the name of the indices are actually the name of the client. So if we take here, for example, this is the common prefix, underscore client, we copy it. What we need to do is simply this. The script uses a couple of sets in order to manage the whole thing. So we have a client set in line 461 and the second client set in line there we are, 494 in this case, but obviously the line numbers will vary depending on the length of your reference table, so don't pay attention to the numbers right now. Just keep in mind that there are a couple of client sets towards the end of the script, and both of them need the common prefix or suffix. Okay, so we simply paste the common suffix on the first client set and then on the second client set. All right, and we save. And right now, SWAPR script is ready to work automatically with the reference table that we automatically generated and pasted, and with the common suffix for all clients. This script is ready to go right now. We go back to, closing windows here. Okay, we go back to the CS. We go back to that second trigger that we have, and instead of SWAPR reference table builder, we load the SWAPR, the real SWAPR script, okay? And we save. And before we test the magic, before we see the magic, we need to do one last thing. We go back to all the clients in the mission, which are currently set as AI, and we switch them back to client, okay? I've finished switching everything, all the units to clients. Now everything should be switched to client. We do the final check from start to end. We pay attention to this. We can see that it always remains as client, so that means all the units are clients now. Good. Okay, So the common suffix in this case is also shared. All the units use it, which is good. And the final check, make sure that, as I said, all the Farb units are on different parking spots. Very important. So yes, on the red Farb they are, and on the blue Farb they are as well. Right, nice. So now final check. SWAPR script is loaded, right? We save the mission and everything is ready for the test. So let's load it up and see what happens. All right, so we're in the mission now. And the first thing you need to do is to not enter red, not enter blue, just select spectators, okay? The first time around, only the first time that you join the mission, just enter spectators if you're in a single player environment and let the script run. And as you can see, all the replacement statics that we referenced have been spawned on the map, the correct aircraft types, the correct orientation, the correct position, with the correct skin or livery as well. Let's check the F10 map to see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, all the clients, all the clients that we had in Copileti and on the top of Mount Elbrus and Sochi have been replaced by statics. Now we're free to choose a coalition, for example blue, and start testing this. Let's jump into the A10A, the first one on Copileti. There we go. There was a replacement static here. The moment my client has appeared here, has spawned here, the script has detected that there was a replacement client here, a replacement static. It has removed it, and so my client has been allowed to spawn here without any trouble. Okay, this is one of the things that the script does. Then let's jump onto the other A10A. Next one. There we go again. Same thing has happened. Okay, there was a replacement static here. It has been removed to allow the client to spawn freely. And the cooler thing has happened here. The client spot that we left open, that we left free, has been detected. Okay, and then a new replacement static has been spawned, which matches the client's aircraft type, obviously position, heading, and livery type. As you can see, it's the same. It's using this static is using the same skin as the previous client. And we can keep going with the rest of clients that we have in the mission. We can go to the F15, for instance, the first one. Flop, static disappears, previous static spawns, and we keep going. Next, F15, which is from Israel, static disappears, previous static spawns. Isn't it nice? Okay, so we can keep going. Su-25s, same happens. The F15 reappears. Let's go to the P-51s first. Okay, jump to the P-51. The Su-25 has reappeared here. Okay, let's jump to the other P-51, see what happens. Just a second. There we go. See, the previous one now is a static with the same livery. And we can keep going with the rest of aircraft, just demonstrating so you can see that it works for different airframes. It actually works for all modules in DCS. If they are properly implemented in the game, they should work, okay? This is one of the beauties of this script. And yeah, let's jump to a Su-27. There we go. And the previous MiG-29 has been replaced. And now let's jump on to the Farb units, because I want to show you something. Let's go to the first Farb unit, which is this Huey from Australia. There we go. And let's jump to the second one, which is Huey from Georgia. Right? The one from Australia has respawned, as you can see, as in the form of a static. Then let's jump to the next one, which is MI8 from Greece. There we go. And the previous Huey has respawned as a static. Let's go to the final MI8, which is from Turkey. There we go. Now there's a problem with Farb units, and this problem, as far as I can tell, it's a DCS problem, and it's the following. If we go back to the first to any unit actually in this Farb, we spawn back, there are no problems. Okay, but this right now, this is the 5th time that we have switched clients. Now if we try it for a sixth time in a row, it won't let us. Now if I try to switch again to whatever client or to any other client in this Farb, it won't let me. For example, if I try to switch to this MI8 from Turkey, my client disappears and we get a message saying your flight is delayed to start, please wait. There we go, and it doesn't let us. But don't worry, this is only temporary. We can jump back, but in order to jump back, we need to swap clients a couple of times more. Okay, so go back to Australia. Okay, now this is the 3rd time that we've tried to spawn. Now let's try to go back to the Turkish MI8, and it lets us back in. See? Let's try to spawn again the Greek, and it lets us. Let's try to spawn on the Australian, and it lets us. And let's try to spawn on the Georgian, and it doesn't let us because we didn't select it. But now if we switch again to Greece and we switch again to Georgia, it should let us. There we go. See? So it's a nasty issue. I don't know what causes it, but you need to keep it in mind, okay? If you switch clients more than 5 times between Farb units, you'll encounter this problem. Okay, and now to finish with to end with the blue coalition. Sorry. Let's jump to the Huey that we have on the top of Mount Elbrus. There we go. Whoa. And as you can see, to the left of this Huey, we have a static Russian. Well, it's not Russian, it's from Iran actually, but it's from the Red Coalition. Red Coalition MI8 static. So let's switch coalitions. Let's go to spectators. Incidentally, you can see that my Huey has disappeared. This is another cool feature of this script. Let's go back. There. Did you see that? The Huey has reappeared. Did you see that? So this script has an automatic scheduler which runs every minute. What it does is basically making sure that any empty client spots are repopulated with a replacement static. Okay. So let's select now the Red Coalition. Let's start with this MI8 from Mount Elbrus. There we go. And now let's go to the Farb, the red Farb at Sochi. We have a Huey there. There we go. And in this Farb, we will encounter the same problem as before. If we switch clients more than 5 times, it will block the slots temporarily. Let's switch to this one, right? Perfect. Everything works. As you can see, all the clients are being replaced by statics. And switch to the Russian. Perfect. Now let's switch back to the first Huey on the Sochi Farb. Lets us, but the moment we try to switch again, it won't let us. There we go. Flight is delayed to start, please wait. See? Okay. So, as I said, in order to fix this, we need to jump again a couple of times more. it doesn't let us, it's okay. We jump to another one, it won't let us, it's okay. And now we try to jump to the fourth one, it won't let us. Okay, but now it should be clear. If we try to jump back to the first Russian Kiwi, it lets us. Okay, and the same. Jump on the second one. And now, since we have clicked, we have selected each of the helicopters once, and it has blocked us, now it should let us enter each one of them. Now the Russian. Okay, so yeah, keep this in mind. In Farbs, you cannot switch more than 5 times. If you do, this problem will arise. Okay, and let's keep trying the rest of clients on the parking spots and on the airbase. Right, MiG-29s. Okay, this is from Kazakhstan. Su-25. Well, as you can see, all the statics get replaced the moment we spawn, and the previous spots, the previous slots are automatically filled by a static replacement. Su-25T, no problems there. The previous Su-25 has spawned as static. Su-27, same deal, and Su-33, same deal. Okay, so this is what the script does. It automatically handles the replacement of statics and clients. All right, so let's summarize all the stuff that we've done so far. The first thing we did was make sure that all the clients that we wanted to replace used a common prefix or suffix in their pilot names. That's their unit names. The second thing that we did was to make sure that all the Farb-based clients were placed on different parking spots. That's very important. The third thing that we did was to introduce the common prefix or suffix of the clients inside SWAPR reference table builder.lua, which was the reference table builder script that SWAPR uses. Okay, then we saved the script. Next step was to switch all selected clients to AI. They were set as client. Remember, we went one by one and switched them back to AI. Next step was to load the SWAPR reference table builder.lua, that script that creates the reference table. We load it on the mission editor using a once trigger. Now remember, and this is important, SWAPR uses moose, okay? Without moose, it cannot work. So, which means you must download and load moose.lua at the start of the mission, okay, in order to use the SWAPR scripts. And don't worry, I will discuss this in the forum thread. I will probably post links to all the relevant files. Don't worry about that. Just keep in mind that you need to load moose.lua for all this thing to work. Okay, right. So after that, after we had the SWAPR reference table builder.lua script, the reference table builder, let's call it. After we had that loaded in the mission, we run it, and then we let the script dump the reference table on dcs.log. Right? Then we went to dcs.log. We copied the table that was dumped in there. We selected it, we copied it onto Notepad++. Okay, remember, we opened Notepad++, created a new document, and we pasted the reference table. And then we used this useful feature, which is called column selection with, remember, you need to press left Alt on the keyboard in combination with the left mouse button in order for it to work. Then you can select any column or any stuff that you want from inside the text file and then remove it. So remember, we use this feature to select all the time information that we didn't want. Then we removed it all. We left only the reference table in there. So we took that reference table, we copy it, and then we pasted it inside SWAPR.lua, which is the main script that you will be using, okay? Remember, we pasted it at the start of the script. You'll see that at the start of the script, there's a comment that says paste the reference table here. So you paste it there. Okay, so next step was to introduce the common prefix or suffix or inside the swapr.lua, that same file, that same script. Remember, we have a couple of client sets, so we need to paste the common prefix or the common suffix in those client sets for the script to work. And next we loaded swapr.lua in the mission editor using the same once trigger that we had created in step 5. So we just go to mission editor, and instead of loading the other script, which is the swapr, the reference table builder, so instead of loading that one, we load swapr.lua. It's as easy as that, okay? Right. So next step was to switch all the AI units that we had. I mean, basically those were the clients that were set to AI. We switched them back to client skill, okay? And after we did that, we made sure that all the clients were using the common prefix or suffix, and we also make sure that all the Farb units were in different parking spots. That's very important as well. Then we save the mission and we run it, right? And then upon entering the mission, we selected spectators. Remember, you must choose spectators only the first time that you join the mission. When you join the mission for the first time, join spectators. Let the script spawn all the statics, and then you can select any collision you want, and you're free to go. Your clients will be automatically replaced by statics and vice versa. So I wanted to make a couple of extra notes here, which I will also point out. I will also write them in the forum thread, probably. But okay, so I have a bunch of stuff here that I want to note. So for instance, if you have helicopters or Harriers in the mission, make sure that they are not placed inside a shelter. Okay, these parking shelters that we see on runways all over Caucasus and the rest of maps, do not place them in there, because the SWAPR script will ignore any clients that are placed inside shelters. Okay, I've made this in order to avoid statics spawning on top of the shelters, because this is a problem with DCS. Apparently, statics cannot be spawned inside of shelters, at least using the method that SWAPR uses. This cannot be done. So that's why any unit that is located inside a shelter will be ignored by the script. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I wanted to note is that this won't work on carrier-based units. Okay, so if you want to replace units, I don't know, Tomcats or Hornets or Harriers even, or helicopters, spawning from a carrier, that won't work. Yeah, there's another problem with the CS that causes all the static spawns, or all the statics to spawn at the bottom of the sea, in case the carrier, obviously the carrier is going to be on the sea. So all the statics will be spawned on the right locations. I mean, that's possible, but at the bottom of the sea, and that's a problem. So yeah, this cannot be used for carrier-based units. And okay, another thing that I wanted to point out, obviously, is that whenever you have a multiplayer mission, your clients must be on separate groups. Do not include more than one client per group, okay? Keep each client separated, each client within its own group, in order to avoid problems. Right. So yeah, this is covered. This is covered. Yeah, another thing that I wanted to note is that any helicopter or the Harriers as well, helicopters and Harriers, the statics, I mean, they will be spawned 5 meters to the east. Okay, they will be spawned using an offset. And the reason I did this is because choppers and Harriers can be spawned from Farbs, right? And DCS has this problem. At least I encountered this problem on Farbs, which caused newly spawned clients like helicopters or Harriers to appear on top of the statics that were just removed when the clients spawn. So these clients basically would spawn like, I don't know, 5 meters above the air, like flying, and then they would fall to the ground and break. And in order to avoid that, I just decided to offset all the static spawns so this problem wouldn't happen anymore. So don't worry if you notice that the helicopters and the Harriers statics, that is, the statics spawn a little bit offset, with a little bit of an offset. Just keep in mind it's because I wanted to avoid problems. All right. So I think this pretty much covers it. Okay, yeah. I think this is all the stuff that I wanted to point out. Don't worry, I will list all this stuff in a note section, important note section in the forum thread. So don't worry, you'll have all the relevant information here. So nothing more. I hope that you enjoy this script and have fun with it. See you.